This cycle has seen altcoins underperform amid fear that we're really never going to get an altcoin season, at least not a proper one. And that fear may be unfounded, and we'll look at the signs that alts can still shine. But another unique feature of this cycle has been the emergence of cryptocurrency treasury companies turning into these crypto treasury vehicles and raising money to buy shit tons of altcoins, meaning that traders and investors can speculate on a whole new category of crypto related stocks. And later on, we're going to look at some of the insane price action that some of these have been seeing around certain tickers in particular. But if you put these two factors together, altcoin underperformance and crypto treasury stocks, well, it starts to look like maybe, just maybe, crypto stocks are this cycle's altcoins. So let's look at whether that's the case. And if so, what happens to crypto stocks as the cycle moves into its final phases? So first of all, let's just remind ourselves from a trading perspective, what is the purpose of the majority of the altcoin space? And I'm not talking about the tech angle, right? We're going to do smart contracts and put on our nerd glasses. No, altcoins can have all kinds of useful functions. They can be DeFi, they can be privacy, they can be social tokens, whatever. But realistically, the intent of altcoins for people to trade the market and want to make money are that they have higher volatility than Bitcoin, and that in theory, you can find ones that can put in higher gains, more X's than Bitcoin when they rally. And in general, they act as kind of beta assets for Bitcoin in risk-on environments. Obviously, you have to be very selective with your altcoin purchases, but still, that's the theory. As capital flows out along the risk curve, you'll see riskier coins pump. That said, this cycle has been a little unusual, as really meme coins have been the name of the game. They've been pumping on and off throughout the entirety of the bull market phase alongside with BTC. When BTC pumps, altcoins pump sometimes, some of them, but meme coins generally tend to pump pretty hard, at least the big ones do. Recently, we're seeing the possibility of a more familiar pattern emerging, as we are seeing some altcoin signals have flashed. So on the positive side for altcoins, Bitcoin dominance dropped and ETH BTC has broken out rather convincingly. But if you take a look at the total to market cap, which measures everything except for Bitcoin, you can see that it ripped this month. But then it looks at the moment to have stalled a bit again, which is normal. Big pump up and then chill for a minute. But the altcoin season index also showed a promisingly strong move up, but has subsequently dipped again. So all of the above points to an altcoin season may be starting to happen. Okay, Bitcoin dominance falling, altcoin season index heating up, all that kind of stuff. Then in addition though, of course, we have to talk about crypto stocks because they're showing major volatility as well, and they're great for traders and for investors who are getting in early. But before we get into that, if you are trading the cryptocurrency markets, that's you, I know that's you, then you need a good place to do that. You need a good exchange that you can trust to trade on. The place is BitUnix, where I'm doing most of my futures trading these days. It's no KYC, no VPN, available to literally anyone, anywhere. They have deep liquidity for all the big coins, and they are offering you their most crazy deal yet. You got to listen up to this. You'll get a 30% fee discount straight to VIP level 3 for a trial. You'll get a $400 deposit bonus. You deposit $1,000 to get $200 back, $2,000, $400 cash back money in your account, and trading bonuses up to $8,000 cash back, as well as up to 3 Ethereum. Yeah, 3 ETH was almost $12,000. These are insane deals. It's a limited time offer. There's a link down below. Go check it out and sign up now. So, okay, gaining crypto exposure through traditional stock markets is not in itself new. Investors have bought Bitcoin mining stocks quite aggressively in the past. And then there are stocks like Coinbase's stock, and Robinhood. Obviously, MSTR. It's a Bitcoin play since 2020, but it's been a wildly successful stock for people to hold as well. And now we have a new category of companies emulating MicroStrategy in their wild Bitcoin buying. And in the process, a potential new bubble is forming up. The toxic liquidity of this cycle has arrived. Digital asset treasury companies. And this comes down in large part to regulatory changes in the United States, with Trump mainstreaming crypto, the Genius Act locking in acceptance of stablecoins through legislation, and the SEC generally being much more positive towards crypto and completely abandoning its weird anti-crypto stance that the previous leadership had pushed forward. So more companies are pivoting to scooping up crypto, Michael Saylor style, meaning they now act as beta to their stockpiled assets or to the entire crypto market itself. And the results in tickers that act a lot like altcoins are here, except anyone with a Robinhood account can now flip these stocks with no need to go on chain, no need to set up a Coinbase account or any of that kind of stuff. And look, there's been a lot of Bitcoin treasury companies as well from some very, very big names, but the altcoin treasury companies are probably the story of the cycle. And there are plenty of examples of crypto stocks behaving like altcoins. So first, let's look at the price action of SBET, SharpLink Gaming. It surged after announcing its Ethereum strategy plans and has been on a roller coaster since then. This is backed by Joe Lubin, by the way. The price went up to around $80, then down to below $10 and back up to around mid-30s at the time recording this video. It's crazy. By the way, I own Coinbase stocks, Marathon stocks, SBET stocks, BMNR stocks, and MCVT stocks, just FYI. But let's talk about BMNR now. BMNR, backed by Tom Lee, Wall Street legend, similar, rocketing on the back of ETH announcements from below $5 to $135, pulled back, now trading around $35 at the time of recording this video. There's SONN, SONN, which went all in on the hype coin and put in a 10x before dropping back down to still trade at a 3x for early buyers above his pre-crypto price. YHC, this was an absolutely crazy one. Wild speculation that a crypto native guy, Robert Leshner, I think he's CEO of Compound Finance, he was taking over a majority control of this company and was going to do some kind of altcoin treasury company, but that didn't happen and it came down crashing again on the news that he wasn't indeed going to take over the company. Also, take a look at the visual stylings of ETH treasury company, the Ether Machine. It looks cool, could be a solid play, but the style reminds me of an NFT project. We're going to see lots of crazy happening in regulated markets, okay? That's the point I want to make. You can see the key characteristics traders love about alts. The volatility is here. The potential to make crazy gains is here. Better than the altcoins themselves in many cases. Look at that. You could have bought SBET and got 7-8x return versus Ethereum, which is crazy. You'll make more money trading the stocks, in theory, right? On the other hand, this is all going to come crashing down super hard later on. Putting this all into perspective, our recent BCA Research Comments. Now, BCA is a global investment research firm, and they explain that the model MicroStrategy currently is following makes it a leveraged bet on BTC. Okay, a lot of other companies like Metaplanet and Nakamoto and 21 have followed that same model. We can expect that to infer that all crypto treasury stocks are essentially leveraged bets on the cryptocurrency markets. Well, BCA Comments also suggest that these stocks might be completely effed when a bear market hits. Of course, these things are going to crash so hard, it's going to be disgusting. Also, keep in mind that altcoins always get crazier as the bull market progresses and gets into its later stages. The bubble expands and we move from layer ones to memes to weird JPEGs and now apparently to crypto treasury companies pumping dead zombie companies that are getting taken over and they're buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crypto. GameSquare, they recently put on a $5.15 million CryptoPunk on their books. BitOrigin's buying Dogecoin. We have companies buying XRP, buying Solana, Sui, on and on the list goes. Fetchcoin, it's nuts. And sure, there's a thesis that Bitcoin no longer suffer deep drawdowns, but an argument for that is that institutional flows, including Bitcoin treasury companies, will hold the market up. But that's kind of a stretch, or perhaps a circular argument, as these dedicated crypto vehicles are themselves extremely vulnerable in bearish conditions. Besides, crypto, other than Bitcoin, is being put on the books at a growing number of firms. Now, Bitcoin treasury companies, MicroStrategy is the gold standard. It's the Bitcoin of treasury companies, right? Others will be interesting too, like Nakamoto and 21. These are backed by very serious people. But some of these altcoin companies, oh, buddy. Oh, man. Look, Saylor rode out the last bear market with total conviction because he's got giant balls, okay? Most of these altcoin CEOs will not. Maybe we'll see the same with some of the newer vehicles, Metaplanet. Maybe they're the, MicroStrategy Japan. SBET has Joe Lubin. BitMine has Tom Lee. These guys are very, very serious players, okay? But is that going to be the case for every new corporate crypto holder? I suspect no. I suspect there'll be rehypothecation, there'll be fraud, there'll be bankruptcies, and there'll be bottom selling. And anyway, Saylor's conviction means strategy pushed through, but it didn't mean the stock didn't drop 90% in the last bear market. Not many companies will be able to sustain this, okay? Which again looks highly altcoinish, as does MSTR when putting in more than 40x from the lows. So just remember that famous George Soros quote, "When I see a bubble forming, I rush in to buy, adding fuel to the fire." A maxim that applies well to both altcoins and to crypto stocks. So just remember, have a sober view of what's going on here. Don't make it what it isn't, but enjoy the ride while it lasts. Thanks for watching.